informed by listening to America's talk and information station, Radio 710, WOR, New York.
At 7 o'clock, this is WOR News. Good evening. I'm Maria Boynton at 71 degrees with rain, and the WOR forecast calls for the rain to continue into the evening. A storm blows through Rockland and Westchester counties, leaving a path of destruction. Trees reported down on the Palisades Parkways. Problems also are reported in New Jersey. Metro North reported delays of up to 30 minutes. And the New Haven line even reported trees on the tracks. And the LIRR also reported some scattered delays. In other news, a murder mystery now on Long Island. Police are looking for a suspect in the shooting death of Dr. Daniel Hodge. The 53-year-old Hodge killed in the parking lot of the Fairhaven Garden Apartments in Mineola. He was found in his gray Lincoln Continental. An eyewitness tells police they saw Hodge struggle with another male before the gun went off.
The subject that we are looking for engaged Dr. Hodge in a physical altercation. It was a very brief altercation, and Dr. Hodge was shot by this subject several times in the upper torso.
Daniel Severin is with the Nassau County Police Department. Police say they don't know whether it was a random attack or an intentional hit. Convicted rapist Alex Kelly will be a free man for a while, well, at least until his sentencing. A Stanford judge denying a request by prosecutors to revoke bond while Kelly awaits his July 24th sentencing. The judge saying Kelly has a constitutional right to reasonable bond. Reputed mob boss Vincent Chen Giganti is ordered to shave and wear clean clothes at his murder and racketeering trial. That order coming from the judge. We get more now from Paul Houston, reporting for WOR.
After months of observation, defense for the alleged head of the Genovese crime family says those people the FBI agents had observed at Vinnie the Chin's Upper East Side townhouse were family friends and nothing more. The government, seeking to get court-authorized bugs into that house, tried to paint a picture of a series of clandestine 2 a.m. meetings right in front of Giganti's then 14 and 16-year-old daughter and son. But the bulk of the government case will be built on the turncoat witnesses the defense says are the most infamous array of murderous psychopaths ever assembled, including Sammy the Bull Gravano. From Brooklyn Federal Court, I'm Paul Houston, WOR News.
In Trenton, Governor Whitman's auto insurance reform plan passes the Senate. It's up next in the Assembly, where it's expected to pass. The auto insurance bill would avert an automatic rate increase set for Tuesday. It also promises anti-fraud efforts, makes it tougher for insurers to drop good drivers, and forces insurers to cover urban drivers. The debate rages on about assisted suicide. The Supreme Court today upholding laws banning doctor-assisted suicide, but one right-to-die advocate says the court left open the possibility for states to enact their own laws legalizing it. WOR News Time, 7:03.
While it's true we do, in fact, live in a free country, they never did say anything about the cost of getting around in it being free. Our founding fathers didn't put anything in the Bill of Rights about traveling. They didn't make it a crime to charge people bunches of money to get somewhere. And again, what it can cost to fly on short notice ought to be against the law. And you think to yourself, there's gotta be another way. And then you realize there is. It's called the bus. Greyhound offers 18,000 daily departures to over 2,400 destinations without the silly restrictions and even sillier prices. Call Greyhound at 1-800-231-2222. After all, it's still a free country. Bus fares are cheap, and you can leave the driving to us.
WOR News Time now, 7:04. Well, how's the commute? Not so good, as we hear, I'm sure, from Clark Logan.
Indeed, Maria. Still Westchester the problem. Southbound New England Thruway. We do have an accident at exit 18B. That's Mamaroneck Avenue. And also on the Hutch, the down tree approaching Mamaroneck Road. Just about cleared. Still lots of volume. Traffic brought to you by the New Jersey Lottery. You work hard just to earn a buck, and who knows, you might actually get the promotion someday. In the meantime, why not play Pick 6? The jackpot is now $2 million. That's WOR Traffic.
WOR weather forecast. Well, for tonight, you can expect a slight chance of a shower early, then clearing lows 65 to 70, except 60 to 65 in the northern and western suburbs. Friday, mostly sunny and less humid, highs 85 to 90. Friday night, mostly clear, lows around 70 in the New York City metro area. 60 to 65 in most of the suburbs. Saturday, sunny, highs in the 80s. Cooler at the south-facing shores. For Sunday, fair, lows in the 60s, highs in the 80s. Monday, partly cloudy, lows in the mid-60s to around 70, and highs in the lower to mid-80s. Right now, it's 71 degrees in New York. Stay tuned for the Joan Rivers Show. Our next news at 8, bulletins at once. I'm Maria Boynton, WOR News.
Man, my feet are killing me.
No, you're killing us feet.
Great, now I got a talking foot.
If you took better care of us, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
What do you want from me?
Dr. Scholl's Air Pillow insoles with new Sure Grip foam.
I got insoles.
You got store brand insoles. Look, tests prove the new Air Pillow gives better all-day cushioning.
Really?
So save a few pennies or get the comfort us feet deserve. Get Dr. Scholl's Air Pillow insoles.
With Sure Grip foam.
Your feet thank you.
Get ready for something deliciously zesty. It's Domino's new pesto crust pizza. We take ground basil, parsley, and garlic to make that savory pesto taste. Then we knead it right into the dough. And after baking, the crust is brushed with olive oil and sprinkled with Romano cheese. Call Domino's now and get a large one-topping pesto crust pizza for just $9.99. That's right, just $9.99. Delivered hot and fresh right to your front door. New pesto crust pizza, only from Domino's.
Domino's. Hot wow now.
Radio 710 WOR.
This is the Joan Rivers Show on WOR.
It's Joan Rivers, and Clinton is in New York, which explains the hot air that is all over the city. I cannot tell you how hot it is today. How hot is it? The cows are giving cocoa. What's going on today? In 1945, the United Nations Charter was signed, enabling them to do absolutely nothing except park illegally in New York City. Princess Diana, I covered it for CNN for Larry King last night. The sale was amazing to see 35,000 dresses and $250,000 dresses going. And she's home somewhere in London today saying to everybody, don't throw away that towel, don't throw away that bra, keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it, keep it. The Supreme Court has okayed smut over the internet, so we now know what their hobby is. And if you want a real website expert, you could see, if you are a real website expert, you could see the pictures of Sandra Day O'Connor in her 6-piece bathing suit anytime you want to. What else can I talk about? Lesbian cops were married. 2 lesbian cops were married in Central Park today. And we know they were lesbians because the other cops are too afraid to go into Central Park. So we won't worry about that. All kinds of things are happening. I'm very excited about my first guest tonight because my guest the next hour, or for the first hour, is the founder and chairman of a dynamic multimedia company whose name has become synonymous with vital and pertinent information, Bloomberg. I mean, you go up there, you go up to their offices, and you know things are just happening. Who better discuss Bloomberg than the Bloomberg man? Who better discuss it? Sorry, Bloomberg LP, the Bloomberg Personal Magazine, the Bloomberg News. I'm just listing a few of these. The Bloomberg News Radio, the Bloomberg Business News, the Bloomberg Information Television, and the Bloomberg Financial Markets. Ben Bloomberg, who will be discussing all this in his new book, which he called Bloomberg by Bloomberg. Please say hello to Michael Bloomberg. How lovely to have you on.
Well, thank you, Joan. Thank you for having me.
Now, first of all...
When are we going to get Rivers by Rivers?
I've done 5 already. Nobody buys them.
Yeah, well.
I give them to my neighbors. All right. Bloomberg by Bloomberg. How long to build this? How long did it take you to build this incredible company?
Well, I got thrown out of Salomon Brothers in September 30th, 1981. Started this the next day, and it's 16 years later.
If they hadn't fired you at Salomon Brothers,
still be there.
You'd still be there.
Absolutely. It was. I loved every minute, all 15 years, even the days I was going to get beaten up. I was looked forward to going in. I never would have quit in good times. There wouldn't have been any good reason to. And I certainly never would have left them in bad times. I think that's when you have an obligation to the company to stay. So I'd probably still be there.
What do they say now, the people that let you go?
Well, I think it's a little bit of revisionist history.
Yeah.
They would say that it was a nice time for both of us to part company, and they always thought nicely of me, and I think I remember it that way.
Right. Now...
They wouldn't say any bad things, nor would I about them.
What did you see as a vision for the company when you first started?
Well, I got out
What was the first thing you did?
left Solomon Brothers, and I could have either gone to work for somebody, except that nobody offered me a job.
Right.
In all fairness, I didn't look, but nobody offered me a job. Or I could start my own company, decided to start my own company, looked for something to do, saw that there was a gap in that nobody was giving Wall Street and the people who invested in Wall Street information that was usable, particularly on the buy side. The brokers had some information, but the investors didn't have anything. And if you go back and look, people who worked in Wall Street made a lot more money than people who worked on the buy side, running mutual funds or insurance companies. Today, because the information's equal, so's their pay. Pay goes along with power and influence and the ability to determine your future. And what we did is we just sort of leveled the playing field by building a system that both sides could afford.
Okay, so now, what does that mean?
means that if you're a money
I'm a layman.
You're a money manager and you need some information.
Yes, I'm managing 3 people's money. So I go to Bloomberg, and what do you tell me?
You hit a button and you get an answer to your questions, plus you get some the new questions that you should be asking. So, for example, if you're interested in a company, we'll give you their income statement and their balance sheet.
Right.
Anybody can do that. But if you want to compare it to, let's say, a British company, well, British accounting rules are different than American accounting rules. What we do is we automatically put both of them on the same basis. So if you're comparing a British company and a U.S. company, we do the math for you and you can make a legitimate comparison.
And you all with computers, were you one of the first to start? Because it's all computer. I walk into there and I'm so in awe. First of all, it's so busy. Everybody is happy, it looks like. Everybody's running around, and it's all computers. Everyone's got the computer going.
What's happening in the world is the computers are taking over, but not the way the pundits predicted. Everybody said you'd have a computer in every room of your house. You look there, you'll say it's not there, but it is there. There's a computer in your thermostat, and your television, and your telephone, and your radio, and the clock, all that sort of stuff. Computers are taking over our lives, but those that are successful are those that where we don't have to learn anything new.
Right. Okay. Now, when did you start to expand? Right, you opened up in 81. Who were your first customers?
Took me 2 years, finally sold 20 terminals to Merrill Lynch after 2 years.
2 years?
2 years of banging on the doors and trying to say, this is what we're going to build. And everybody was very nice to me. They all said, Mike, it's great, but we're going to do it ourselves. Or Mike, come back when it's done. And Merrill Lynch said, well, if you can deliver it, we'll take it.
Okay. So once you got Merrill Lynch, then when did all this explosion happen? Because by the time I walked in, you have, well, how many floors do you have now?
Oh, we have 2 buildings that are connected, 6 in one and 4 in the other.
Incredible.
And then we have 1,000-odd people in Princeton and 500 people in London and 200 people in Tokyo, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. So when did all that start? How fast did it build? Once it started going, you got Merrill Lynch.
Got Merrill Lynch, and by that time we probably had 10 people, and then a year later we probably had 30 people. The big growth has been in the last 4 or 5 years, at least the growth that you see, because once we went into radio and television and print journalism, journalists talk about other journalists, and so that's when the publicity started. The basic computer business has been growing pretty much a straight line from day one.
Does it scare you at all? To go in and say, my God, all these people are here because of me?
No, the only, there's a responsibility. I hope I've taken care of succession and those kinds of things. I hope I don't screw up. But the only thing that's worrisome is when things are going well, nothing goes well forever, and you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
What about picking, advancing, within the company?
I'm a big believer. We never hire managers from outside. All of our management's homegrown, and that's why everybody says, well, you're going to buy another company. If we bought another company, we'd have to fire people. I'm trying to build so we can hire more people. It's a whole different approach.
So how do you know? How do you keep tabs on who's really great? You reach a point now. You're obviously very hands-on, but you can't be hands-on with what?
If you're going to grow, you got to delegate.
Employees, you have to delegate. Yeah.
What you have to do is you have to pick some people, give them the authority to go along with responsibility, give them a reasonable amount of time to try new things, and then every once in a while say, hey, I'm looking over your shoulder, whether you're looking over it or not. You have to have a lot of beware of the dog signs. You don't have to have a lot of dogs because they'll never know which sign has the real dog behind it.
Okay, it's 1-800-321-0710. It's called Bloomberg by Bloomberg, and we are lucky enough to be speaking to Michael Bloomberg. Let's go to a phone call already. Hello, Kelly.
Yes, Mr. Bloomberg.
Good call.
Oh, dear.
Michael worked too, thanks.
Michael, indeed. Why are you so anti-union, specifically towards our talent union concerning radio and television.
Didn't know that I was.
Well, your AM station is non-union. There's no contract, and all those people are not protected by the union is after.
They don't have a union, but that's up to them. I don't see any of them wanting to unionize. If they did, that's their choice, and we would deal with it.
From management a bit, you have to sort of make
why,
a
if they don't
connection
care?
with it.
If they don't care, why should he care? Why should,
They're all AFTRA members. They're AFTRA members, but they're not being covered by the union. They're not paying dues.
Oh, do you work for AFTRA?
We all pay dues. We pay AFTRA.
Yeah, I pay AFTRA.
We all pay them.
We all do, and we have very good benefits, but if they don't want it...
But
Kelly...
He uses a lot of non-union people as well.
I'll use anybody that is competent and wants to work, and I think our
It's a union town. Why don't you negotiate a contract with
AFTRA? Because they don't want it, Kelly. Don't push it at people, the union in their faces, and I'm a union member. If they want it, they'll do it. Next, thank you, Kelly. People get crazy.
The fact of the matter is, I think we probably pay people more than any comparable company in each of the areas. And one of the things that gives me enormous pride is that we have a turnover ratio of single digits, under 10%. People in our business, you'd expect 30 or 40% in a year, and it's single digits, which must say that on balance we're doing very well. Doesn't mean all our 3,500 people are happy. There's always somebody that's not happy, but there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, well, unless it's you. We'll be right back. It's Joan Rivers. The book is called Bloomberg by Bloomberg, and the number is 1-800-321-0710. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
You're listening to The Joan Rivers Show on Radio 710 WOR.
It's a Friday Rambling with Gambling in the hot summertime. Hi, everybody. This is John Gambling. And tomorrow morning at 6:20, we'll talk about some of the big blockbuster movies that are opening up this weekend. Also, we're going to talk with Julia Sweeney. Yeah, you'll be part of Rambling with Gambling.
Radio 710 WOR.
Important information from Nicotrol. If you smoke more than 10 cigarettes a day, use only as directed with enclosed material.
As a foreman, I worry about safety. One day a new guy says, hey, if you're so concerned about safety, how come you smoke? And then he tells me that Nicotrol helped his father quit after 27 years. Says it's safer than smoking because it doesn't have tars or toxins. And program to program, it has the lowest level of nicotine overall. I tried Nicotrol. Haven't smoked since.
Look for the red Nicotrol check and check smoking off your list.
You've been hearing about it for months. Thousands of men and women have been losing weight for months with the remarkable discovery of an all-natural fiber substance called chitin. When taken with meals, chitin absorbs pure fat, making that fat indigestible and naturally passing it right out of the body. Your body then burns its own stored fat and you lose weight. What's really exciting is that you too can lose weight with this amazing product called Fat Absorb. Although results may vary, you have no choice but to lose weight when taking Fat Absorb. No choice, guaranteed, or your money back. And you should know that Fat Absorb is completely safe and effective. And now you can try Fat Absorb risk-free with our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 1-800-458-6420 for more information and discount pricing. Have your credit card ready when calling 1-800-458-6420. Fat Absorb. That's 1-800-458-6420.
WOR. I could win a Trek mountain bike instantly just by completing a collect call using 1-800-CALL-ATT. What do you say to that?
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. U.S. residents only.
No. I mean about the prize, the bike.
You must be 13 or older to enter.
It's a Trek bike. You can't beat that.
Domestic calls only. Offer ends 8/3/97.
They're giving away a bike for every hour, every day.
For official rules, including free entry instructions, call 1-800-787-5193.
Oh, man. I'm using 1-800-CALL-ATT for all my collect calls and for a shot at that Trek bike.
Cool.
AT&T. It's all within your reach.
James Whitmore here with Dennis Thomas, one of America's top professional growers. Dennis, this place sure is big.
Bonnie Plant Farm grows over 100 million plants.
Well, they're all real beauties. What's your secret?
We use the very best seed and the very best plant food, Miracle Grow.
Dennis, you could have used any plant food. Why Miracle Grow?
We've got to have the right stuff. The quality, the vitality, the character of the plant is much better.
Folks, if America's top growers rely on Miracle Grow, shouldn't you?
The Budweiser Concert Series at the PNC Bank Arts Center with America's favorite comedian.